We have a nice power rule, so correct. Yeah, y is equal to a n x to the n minus 1. Nice. Okay. What about that next one? A to the x. Is that similar? Say no, it's not similar because the a is now in the base. Can someone tell me what that is? Anybody remember what that is? Yeah, Natalie, what is it?
ln a to the x.
Yeah, that's right. Remember ln a times a to the x? What about e to the x? Well, if you apply that rule, it's ln e, right? Times e to the x, but what's that? What is that? Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is just the product rule. Can someone tell me what that derivative is going to be? How would you state that derivative? Noah, yeah.
The derivative of f to the x.
So f prime of x times
G of x.
plus what?
Plus f of x.
Yeah.
Times g prime of x.
Now, you can do it in a different order and switch them around. That's the one I prefer right there. It helps me keep track of what you're doing. Now, what's the quotient rule? Do you remember? Remember the quotient rule? Noah, go again, yeah.
Low d high minus high d low over low squared.
Yeah, so it's going to be low, so g of x times
The derivative of
f prime of x, yep,
of x.
minus,
High, which is f of x.
yep,
D low, g prime of x.
all over.
G to the gx squared.
Yeah, like that, right? G squared. I don't actually need those y primes in there, do I? Nice. Okay, so that's fantastic. Key thing that people forget sometimes, it's minus up there, right? Then it's plus between the product. That's nice. Now, what about derivative of sine? Do you remember that one? The nicest one.
Cosine.
Yeah, it's just cosine of x, exactly. Now, there are others. What's cosine?
Negative sine.
Negative sine of x, nice. And with that knowledge, once you get that, once you are allowed to say that the derivative of sine is cosine, and the derivative of cosine is negative sine, you remember what we did before break?
Yeah.
We figured out the derivative of the other ones, right? The other four trig functions. So those you have to memorize. You have to know those. You definitely have to know those. I'm not going to ask you now, but you definitely have to know them. So let's warm up just a little bit here. Why don't you do these four right here on your own, all by yourself. Do those by yourself. You could do it in the order I want you to do it, and that would be really helpful. So it's the derivative of the first times the second plus the first times the derivative of the second, negative sine 2x, but then the chain rule pops out of 2. So what can you factor out? E to the x. So you have e to the x times cosine 2x minus 2 sine 2x. That would be the prop. I would love it if you wrote it in that form. That'd be cool. That's good. We're going to simplify a little bit now. Okay, so let's make it a little bit more fun. Let's make it a little bit more fun, shall we? We'll go a little bit more fun first. So f, just do f for me. Just do f. 3x squared and sine of that. So derivative of the first times the second plus what? The derivative plus the first. What's that derivative? 1/2 cosine of 1/2 x. Nice. This gets pretty easy pretty quick on some of these. You have to be real careful to use the right rules though. Yeah, Chris.
We shouldn't multiply these to write the 1/2.
You could. I'm just saying, if you wrote it like that, that's great because I can see all the pieces right there. I see that you use the product rule. I see that you use the chain rule. That's okay. Generally speaking, I kind of like the 3x being in the front, but that if you wrote it just like that with the proper spacing, I like it. I like it. Okay, let's make it a little bit more fun. Just up the fun level here. So in case you can't see it, that this says 4 to the 2 sine of 3x. That says 4 to the 2 sine of 3x. Several of you missed was the chain rule on that piece. So if I was doing this, I would start with the base. It's going to be just ln of 4 times 4 to this thing. And then the chain rule forces something out of that, which is the derivative of the inside. So 6 cosine of 3x. Nice. Okay, let's see what you can do on this one. That is just notation for sine of t cubed. So the derivative, what do? You bring down the power. You keep the original function the same, raise it to the 2 because 3 minus 1 is 2, but then you multiply by the inside, which is cosine of t. Corollary to this, let's say I said j of t was sine, I don't know, to the p power like that. Well, do the same thing. That's going to be sine t to the what power? P. And then if you do the derivative, what's the derivative going to be, Chris? What do you bring to the front? Yeah, it's going to be p times sine of t to the what power?
P minus 1.
Times.
The derivative of
Yeah.
sine t.
So
cosine.
yeah, exactly. There's a general form of it right there. Doesn't matter what number I put up there, the math would be the same. Now, theoretically, what you were doing before, it will work, it's just gonna be a long way to do it. Like you're gonna do it, it's gonna converge and be like, oh, now I'm done. Oh, okay, great. Okay, so let's make it more fun here. Let's make sure that we go through all these rules here. Try this one for me right here. Go. But do you have to? No, you don't have to. So y prime is just going to be 15x squared minus the derivative ddx of 3x to the negative fourth. Oh, you know that. That's 15x squared minus 12x to the negative 5. Yay, very happy. Okay, let's mix them together here. Let's mix a few of these together. Please find me this derivative. Find me this derivative. So the starter, you know it's going to be a prime of everything in this. It's going to be the same thing in the center because you don't change it, right? But then what do you have to multiply by? The derivative of
Everything on the inside.
b of c of d of x, right? So then do that. Then you have to do this derivative. But when you do that one, you're going to have to do, that's the chain rule once so far. You have to keep on going. Keep going. I just gave you a major, started it off for you. There you go. I know, there's your hint. What I gave you before is it's the derivative of the outside of the original function, right?
Yeah.
Like that. And I said now you have to do the derivative of the inside. So you have to do the derivative of b of c, of d of x. So you have to keep, now you have to do the derivative of that. What is the derivative of b of c of d of x?
B prime of c of d of x.
Yeah, so it's going to be b prime of c of d of x. But then you have to multiply by the derivative of c of d of x, right? So that's going to be b. So now you have to do the derivative of that. What's that going to be? C prime of d of x times the derivative of d of x. But what is the derivative of d of x? It's just d prime of x. So you have to glue it all together now. You're not done. What's the final answer going to be? A prime of b of c of d of x times b prime of c of d of x times c prime of d of x times what? D prime of x. It's all of those pieces, this piece right there, that piece right there, that piece right there, and that piece right there. Chain rule several times.
Did that do it?
Yeah, all multiplied together. Yeah. Well, the final answer has no ddx's in it. You have to figure out what this is right there. Yeah. Okay, kids, great work. Go.